welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into game number 2 of the day. Of course, into our second elimination, no, 1-1 bracket, I believe, as Wisla Krakow will be taking on AGF here in this best of 3 to decide who heads that one step closer to getting out of the Swiss stage into the playoffs.
Yeah, this is where at least these teams have some leeway, right? In comparison to the game earlier, when it's the 0-2 bracket, you basically either come out on top or you're out of the tournament. So here, at least, worst case scenario, you at least have one extra chance to come out on top and still secure that spot for the playoffs. But yeah, absolutely, this being the 1-on-1 bracket, it's going to be interesting to see this matchup here of Wisla Krakow versus AGF, two teams that I think it's fair to say are relatively evenly matched.
I've got to agree, yeah. I mean, we've seen both of these teams take on opponents throughout the past couple of days. Again, they've made it fairly solid, and it seems like the lineup that we do have today being, again, sort of minus Netric in that sort of position. Obviously, we sort of explained that AGF do have a little bit of a rotational roster, Dafu being their sort of 6th or just regular rotation player. But we look at the likes of Wisla Krakow and we see, they've got the experience of players like Sparrow, Minio in there as well, but then they've got Yedka in there, the younger players of Hades and Fnatic, who are a little bit more of like an unknown factor. But again, this Wisla Krakow side, I think the last time we saw them, very impressive. But again, AGF, it's a real, like you say, pretty square matchup actually. Both of these sides have been showing us good things. They both lost the game, sure, but from the instances that we've seen out of them, they've actually looked really good in their series, actually.
Yeah, it's very interesting that AGF are still able to perform to a relatively high level, considering that they're constantly changing up the player. Right now, it is going to be the same lineup as they did play with it yesterday. So they're going to have Dafu in the mix, but at the same time, always having that 5th player who's always this sort of open door. I don't know if it's very worth it for a team of this caliber. Obviously, we have the Astralis of the world that will attempt something of a similar note, but as we've seen so far, that just seems to be an utter failure. So why try in this level of Counter-Strike? I'm not sure if it's that necessary, though. It is probably better still to have a player from the same country that is capable of playing whenever necessary than, say, having to pick up some sort of 5th player, 5th stand-in from some other different region, for a different culture, and of course a need to then communicate in a different language. So I kind of see the reasoning behind it as well. But yeah, the fact that they will be playing with Dafu as the 5th player here, AGF, I don't know. This should be quite an interesting matchup heading into this one, but honestly, all things considering, I would still give the edge for the Polish team because they are playing with a proper 5-man roster. They've been playing together for some time now, and just like you mentioned, the youngsters on this team, Fnatic, Hades, these guys are good. We saw them play yesterday even. They're very solid individuals.
They've got some real prolific gamers in this squad. I think Hades, when he gets going with that AWP, one of the better sort of up-and-coming sort of Polish talents that we've got in the scene right now. This roster does seem to, like you say, be somewhat clicking together fairly well. I mean, you look at the veto that we've got as well. There's a couple of maps in here that really do stem for one side or another. Again, it's pretty obvious, as you'll see in a moment, the picks that we do have on this one. I feel like it's a fairly standard approach for both of the sides, with Overpass being the first pick by AGF. That was a map that they showed. They've got very good understanding of. Nuke, again, one of the best maps for one of the better maps for Wisla Krakow, which does leave Train as that 3rd and final. So again, feels like Wisla maybe do have a little bit of an advantage in terms of both Nuke and Train. But Overpass, we know it's very good for AGF. They've shown a lot on this map over the past couple series. It does feel like maybe there is sort of their early edge in the series to sort of maybe not ensure the series goes to a 3rd map, but almost they need to win Overpass here, I think, to be able to then go on to Nuke and play a side like Wisla Krakow, who have got a proven track record on this map.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see them play out here in a map like Overpass, because Wisla Krakow on this very first map, they don't have a good track record on it. In fact, the problem is that they've got 20% win rate on it, so of the 5 times they got to play it, they've only won it once, which really isn't that great. But again, I wonder how AGF will be able to perform here with now Dafu being in the lineup and on this map, because even though they played it a pretty significant amount here, Overpass, they themselves, it's not like they have some sort of truly amazing win rate of 70 or maybe 80%, so it still feels like it could go either way in this map. But once we do land on Nuke, mean, that's also a different ball game, I'd say, for a team like AGF, who don't really have a lot of experience on a map like Nuke. And of course, the fact that the Poles have been playing together for some time now and beat some decent-ish opposition, or at least beat some teams, or at least kept them relatively close, that could be interesting. That could be interesting to see how that second map also plays out.
Yeah, definitely. I think the way that Wisla Krakow have actually worked this veto is actually quite a respectable decision. They've got, allowed AGF to have one of their better maps, or one of the more consistent ones. I'd say the likelihood of AGF winning this one is quite probable. But then you look at the sort of upcoming two maps, both Nuke and Train, fairly strategical, fairly tactical. And like you say, with AGF having this little bit of maybe a settling period of not just rotating Dafu and Netric constantly, or Dafu coming in for, let's say Luki needs a stand-in, or just this, rotation that they've got. But with Christo coming back from his North loan as well, they seem to have put him straight back into the roster now, and sort of embedded him very, very quickly without really seeming to, sort of take into account of the team chemistry that they've built while playing with both Dafu and Netric. The squad has been building over these sort of 3 to 6 months or so that Christo has been in the North lineup. So again, it's one of those where, if you do take into account that AGF technically do have 2 players settling into this squad as more of a newly aligned team, I think playing on maps like Nuke, where you are tested for your team chemistry and your composure, Wisla Krakow have actually really set up a very solid veto here if it goes to the sort of next 2 maps in this list, where actually Wisla Krakow should be able to overcome AGF just based on tactics alone.
Yeah, I think that's the nature of it. Wisla Krakow, a team that have been just playing together for a long period of time. Not to mention, they also have some really solid individuals. I mean, from the side of AGF, I can't really say that Christo has been truly impactful. The players that I think, when it comes to impact for AGF, it's players like Luki, like Frostlev. The other individuals, from time to time, TMB had his own games, but I can't really say that the other individuals have done that much great work. I'd say that on the side of Wisla Krakow, you probably want to take a look at players like Minio, Itaker, Fnatic, maybe Hades as well, of course. Sparrow as well. I mean, he's part of the old guard. Can't really say that he has had some amazing games, but he's been a solid addition to the team, so might as well have a time where he does pop off, like Sixer did in the best of 3 earlier, like out of nowhere. Sixer, I think he's the 4th worst rated player of that LDLC team, but he really helped them out in that crucial win on Dust 2.
Good comparison as well, the fact that Sparrow, like you say, he's done the rounds in the Polish scene, that is for certain, playing in plenty of rosters of old. So yeah, he's definitely been sort of drafted into this squad. You feel like for more of an experienced sort of loggerhead, let's say, like let's say Taz in the Honorist lineup, or the Snacks in the Illuminar lineup, just somebody that these younger players and the lesser experienced ones can just look up to. And especially once the LAN series starts up again, and it's just one of those players where Sparrow, I think he's pretty much sort of like the teams who set up around their IGL. You've got Sparrow sat in the middle. He can look to his left, look to his right, keep the team composed. It's sort of one of those definitely experienced factors for this squad. But yeah, Wisla Krakow, we'll see where it goes for them. Should be starting this pistol round nice and soon here, as AGF will be, like you say, on the more favoured map of Overpass. Should be looking to get off to a great start. But again, it's really, like you say, even open for debate. You look at the teams that Wisla Krakow did play against. They did play AGF once back in the Home Sweet Home Cup. I believe it was one of the qualifiers. So they've definitely had a bout on, or it might have been Cup 8 actually. They did play on Overpass. It did go to overtime. So we'll see where it goes. But pistol round, Wisla Krakow on the CT side. That's a much better start for them. Get onto that more comfortable half. We'll see where it goes though. AGF looking to bring their A game here on the first map. See how it kicks off with this pistol.
Yeah, the pistol round, quite an important one in Counter-Strike, still has its own significance, I'd say. Even after the economy changes, you can still sometimes get yourself, if you win both pistol rounds, basically 6 rounds. So very important to get that pistol round win early on. Look at the players. AGF is going in for the full side B side hit. Wisla has 4 players here. A lot of trade frags coming in. Christo, Dafu now chiming in. And AGF have cleared up the bomb side. Sparrow chimes in, or does he? Dafu, out of the blue, comes out on top at 4 massive kills.
What a way to start the pistol. AGF They just brute force the B bomb site, and scarily, it actually works. AGF getting themselves a great start here into Overpass. Wisla Krakow, what can they do about it here? Already starting on the back foot for the CT side. They will, of course, elect into a force buy. Surprising as well that Hayes actually does go for the scout investment rather than banking up for an AWP into the sort of third or fourth round. But even so, this should be AGF getting off to a nice crisp beginning here. Sparrow down towards A long, does get a lot of info. Great tags actually. Christo does even kill off his own teammate trying to shoot at Sparrow. That gives them not just scout damage onto Christo, but a free 5-on-4 to work with. That is not a good start for AGF.
Absolutely. What is going on here? So AGF absolutely do want to take long control because they think long-range engagements, they should be able to come out on top. But nowadays we've been seeing a lot more scout purchases in these force buys, which clearly doesn't work out from time to time. This instance seems to be one of them. The smoke grenades are a little bit too deep. Sparrow will peek out through the smokes to try and get a tag. There we go, even better. A kill comes in. Hades is trying to get a tag here. A kill also being dealt. Now we're down to the 2-on-2. Wisla Krakow have the players here close by. But Dafu and Frostlev are armed and they're dangerous. Dafu, good kill here in Sparrow, and now it's all to Fnatic. Actually got a kid here in Smoke Grenade if he actually is quick enough to eliminate a player like Dafu. There we go. There's the first, but he's not aware of long lines up. Simply doesn't connect. Oh, that is a bit of a scare for AGF. They win it, of course, but not easy.
An expensive one for certain. Yeah, AGF just able to scrape through the round itself. Wisla Krakow, you can see with the eco round on the way. Hades will have plenty of economy for the AWP into round number 4 as well, so that is going to give them a pretty solid start here. AGF should be getting off to a 3-0 beginning, ensuring that so far this is at least a safer way to begin here on Overpass. But Wisla Krakow, see what sort of influence they can have on a round like this. Should be very little in terms of the fragging output, but again, you've got a Deagle on the likes of Sparrow. A couple of pistols here that can definitely change the outcome, but shouldn't be too solidified. Should be AGF cleaning things up. They've got Mac 10s getting ready to generate all that cash. Christo, oh, Minio gets away with 2 on short, actually. This now is a little bit more difficult here as they burst into the B site. There, Minio. Oh dear. This is a full eco round that's under threat. Minio, 4K to win it. Wisla Krakow, they win a full eco round.
All the rounds to lose as well. These are the most dissatisfying ones. Because that's the thing, you win this round. The biggest challenge comes after winning the pistol round, where you're more often than not expecting the force buy from the CT side. But in this case, AGF, they dealt with the force buy as close as it was. The round still went in their favor, and all they had to do was just go up against these unarmed opponents, basically unarmed, and yet AGF couldn't convert the round win. Really dissatisfying start for them. Hades early on with the AWP though. I think that's a little bit too ballsy. I mean, not really sure what to expect from AGF. Is it going to be the force buy or is it going to be pistols? And pistols will run up to you very quickly. You might lose that up as quickly as you bought it up.
Has got to be careful. Thankfully, aiming to understand exactly what is going on here. Barrow does lose his life. Luki able to find the early frag. Minio spotting out a hell of a lot of information here, but not a lot that they can do to trade the kills as of yet. Hades on the back of the site though, peeks out, finds Luki. Oh, great spam by TMB actually. Gets away with a freebie, looking for more as well. As down to a 2-on-2, make it a 1-on-2. As Fnatic, young blood of this side, gotta step up to win the clutch. The bomb is retrievable. Conditions already seem to be made aware of as Christo wraps it up nice and easy. AGF straight back to winning ways, and they get a third on the board.
on the trade frags were there as well. I mean, back and forth, incredibly so on the A-bomb side, until we're left at a 2-on-2, in which, yeah, from there on out, one more kill goes in favor of AGF, and they secure the victory. 2 rounds here for the Danes. Not a bad start here in Overpass, also considering this is more of a city-sided affair. Wisla Krakow straight back into this one. I think it's going to be quite a while until they see a proper eco come out. Maybe if Wisla Krakow end up losing this round, that could be it. But again, if they end up saving 3 of the weapons here, for example, an AWP, an MP9, and maybe that Deagle, it's not really going to be an eco because they can still be in a position to do damage. And it's always one of the scariest things whenever you're going against ecoing opponents. Then you have an AWP on their side. And a player like Minio, if he is mobile around the map, first goes towards the B side, gets killed, then goes towards the, for example, the restrooms, and there gets a kill. That mobility of the AWP can really be detrimental for any T side team attacking on a map like Overpass. Overpass is a very good example of it. Cobblestone used to be a good example of it as well. A lot of long range engagements, and I'd say Train also does that part pretty well. 3-1, the pause has been lifted, and in fact, it's a double off setup of all things for Wisla.
The very expensive buy into this one. And choosing to commit into the full purchase, it does definitely pay dividends here. We'll see where it goes right now as the Krakow. Aggro spots to be taken, Minio. Playing such a posted up position. Flashes are good. Tag there onto Lukey. Can't get away with the frag though and loses his life. Great pressure by TMB. What he takes out will make it $5,000 of a setup here from Wisla Krakow. Aid's dead as well. 5-on-3 to come as AGF looking to really kickstart nice and early into Overpass, looking like they should be breaking the bank of Wisla Krakow moving forward here, unless this AWP really steps up to the plate. Maybe the MP9 can factor in, but so far looking fairly concise out of the AGF squad at the moment. And ooh, Christo did just spot out the info, waits for the jump up peak, baits in Sparrow, but doesn't make a difference. Great shot by Christo. They see the AWP recollected, but a 5-on-2 should be simple to work out here from AGF.
4 players are here for AGF. The 5th one in the restrooms. Now, more than enough manpower to deal with a puny bomb set such as this. There is the AWP in the hand with Yetker. Fnatic actually gets a kill here in Lukey with the MP9, but apart from that, the bomb set has fallen. Yetker will have to retreat back towards T-spawn maybe and try to save that AWP. In fact, it's not going to be that easy. You can see one of the players in the form of Frostliv is already in the back lines. Yetker, good kill here in Dafu. Looks like they're going to try to hunt him down, which, of course, it's very good if they can remove the AWP, but that could be extra damage dealt to their economy. Eventually, it's worth it.
Very nice. AGF 4-1. Worse so, it's an eco for the side of Wisla Krakow. There'd be 5 on the way here as that T side really starting to kick things off nice and simply. No real competition so far from Wisla Krakow, and this is AGF again beginning to punish nice and early. Christo, expectant of any sort of short peek. They do have a single flashbang from Minio, which might give them the opportunity to swing for a peek onto short. Flashbang not yet given up though, just biding their time, being very, very cautious about this. Great damage done. There's the flash over the top, but no real effect from it either. Great nade to do the damage. TNB, Lukey and Christo all wrapping things up nice and simple, and a very well handled eco there from AGF.
Minio. Don't want to V5 right now. I mean, he might try to go in for a kill, does the damage in Frostliv, but that is simply not enough. 5-1 is the start here for AGF. That is a pretty good start here, all things considering. They ended up losing the eco round, sure, but apart from that, they managed to bounce back nonetheless. They ended up winning a gun round afterwards. 5-1 is a great start for AGF, also considering this is early days in the first half.
This one again being maybe a little bit more difficult. AWP back onto Hades here as well. AGF though, gotta be careful. Bit of a commitment through the Molotov there. Christo burning a little bit, but do slow down for now. They've got a long control here on the CT side, but AGF not particularly challenging in this factor. Now you can see with the way that they are set up here, very slight B-sided aggression. They can spot out the early info there from Minio. I think they did at least catch vision of a head. They jumped up short, but still. No damage to be inflicted though. Taking their time. AGF not wanting to commit. It is great to see. It just shows the composure they've got on this side. Willing to wait out Wisla Krakow for now.
Playing the waiting game here, Wisla. Just waiting for the players to commence. Don't have smoke grenades or molotovs to try and stop the advancement. They have a few flashbangs, but they're not going to be focusing on going in for the flashes. They're going to be focusing on surviving this hit. TMB, good shot on one. There's another player going down. Minio is stuck in such a difficult position. I'm surprised Hades even gets a kill here, and Minio, peak shot. There's two players to find. And Hades and Sparrow, I mean, they know that this round is lost. They don't even have the kits for a proper retake. Not to mention they don't have the manpower to deal with so many angry Danes. They're just gonna back away and save. Why not? That's a reasonable call to make. In fact, if Hades and Sparrow do keep the two weapons, maybe they're gonna go for the investment. It's possible they're about to have maximum lose money bonus. That is definitely up for grabs here from Wisla, and that will be nonetheless 6 rounds for AGF.
It's an easy so far. AGF getting off to a beautiful T-sided beginning. The round loss bonus is getting increasingly large here for Wisla Krakow. Not at maximum. Well, now is, but still. Not at maximum yet, actually. Wisla Krakow. What are they going to do? They got both Hades and Sparrow can drop out weapons, but seems like that is not their main objective here. Going to be another eco round on the way. So should be a big chance at 7 here for AGF, starting to really punish now on Overpass if they do hit this sort of mark. Good boost up by Sparrow. Oh, proper. As I say that, just gets away with a very nice first entry kill. Drops one of the weapons as well, gives them a rifle shot to recollect. Minio in this corner though, he is expected by Lukey. With the way that it's going, flashbang into the corner, still not checked, and Minio manages to find the frag in his favor, so a quick 4-on-4, and with now an extra rifle picked up, this is where things get a little bit dangerous.
Indeed, because it basically becomes a proper investment. Minio, does get a very large gush. They have the Molotov try and flush him out to do exactly that, but even though they flush him out of position, no one's really out there to try and find him. Jedeker, though, what a great boost. TMB is eliminated out of the picture. These seconds, though, AGF begin commencing Plan B. The commitment is here. Jedeker holds on to the bomb side. There's a bit of a gap there for him to work with. Now he's stuck in the smoke. Fnatic, good for one. Jedeker, though, gets plucked. Hades is getting incredibly close towards the site, though. 30 seconds. And Hades, so many angles to check. Hades misses. That's a bit awkward. Hades comes out on top, and Christo, last remaining players are so low on HP, and seems to be aware of it. Gets the kill on one. Now needs to face Minio, missing the shot. 10 seconds. So close, and no, he's gonna get eliminated. A ballsy round for Wisla, and another basically eco round goes in their favor. It was, I guess you could say, somewhat of a more partial investment. Plus, they had the weaponry saved from the previous one, but still, this was not the full potential that Wisla could have showed us.
Scary how these sort of half by pistol round, half investment saves are the winning factor for a lot of teams in this sort of position. We saw the same with LDLC, Nexus in their series. Christo. A little bit of a failed boost there, realizing that it might be a little bit too late to orchestrate that sort of setup again. We'll see if we can keep our eye on they build up that tower in a further round coming. But Wisla Krakow with the round that they have just gotten, they'll be getting second, looking to make this now consecutive here. AGF with a little bit of a hiccup there, just seeing if they can get back to winning ways. But again, there is always the factor here for a side like Wisla after they've just won a round, invested fully. You can see that sure, Hades has the 4,000 saved up as he did win the round, or well, retrieve the AWP, so didn't have to rebuy. But you look at the rest of the squad, not as safe. They have got to be very careful with how this one goes. And AGF, it's a bit more of an A-sided commit so far. The bomb inside of toilets. Flash was good. They spot the barrel out as well. TMB, yeah. Sparrow there under the sort of impression that he was safe and not spotted. Not the case. Heads into the close short position. Might be able to work frag potentially. That's exactly what they get. Minio finds a second as well, but look at this. On the way from the flanks, they've just got to hold the A side, but Jedka takes out Dafu. That makes it a hell of a lot easier now, even with a flank. 15 seconds and they've got to move.
No, the flank's not going to win them the round, though. 10 seconds, there's really no time to plant that bomb. Frostov, though, could get some extra kills, which would be nice. But apart from that, the round has come to a close. AGF, really little time for them to work with there. And Wisla Krakow, you have to admit, that was a stellar hold from the players in restroom. And so it is 6-3. Maybe an opportunity for Wisla to start getting a few rounds together. And that's the important thing. You want to get those rounds together in a row. The way you want to break the economy of AGF, which isn't in the best state right now. You have some players who are above 1,000, 2,000 even. The economy can still get very easily broken. Sparrow checks in the smoke. Could go for a bit of a peek. With the enforceable weapons, I'd be quite scared to take that peek, but clearly Sparrow's got the cojones to go for such a play.
Oh, he's going to even go even further right now. Timing might just be in his favor. Sparrow gets away with two, survives as well to tell the tale, gets so much information. There is still damage. Christo dropped down to low. That is so much damage done by Sparrow. Even if he does lose his life, it's not going to make a difference. They've got players wrapping up frags left, right, and center. Luki spotted. A 1-on-4, good luck to him. He is good, but is he this good? That's the question. Well, he gets away with the first. Ooh, makes a second out of it as well. Not going to tempt fate here, but definitely they've got to be careful. Now, there is a flank on the way, and yeah, unfortunately, right place, right time for Jedka. Closes it down, denies the 1v4. Speaking of 4 rounds on the board for Wisla Krakow. Like you say, economy topsy-turvy for AGF, so seems like Wisla Krakow might have done what's necessary to sort of pry themselves back into this game now.
Very good. This is a nice way to return to the game here, Wisla Krakow, considering they were also down 6-1 at one point. Wisla now in position to come back, or at least to even up goal line. AGF have gone for a bit of a tactical timeout to have the necessary discussion here. Absolutely, we might as well take it sooner rather than later. It's going to be just a mere... Actually, no, I don't know what place of AGF will plan for, but partial investment seems to be the best way to go about it. If they want, they can have 4 AK-47s or 3 AK-47s and a few Galil sprinkled in, so looks like it is going to be the purchase nonetheless. That is the decision AGF have gone for. So again, you have Christo on the AWP, but I can't say he's found a lot of success here for AGF. Sparrow, though, this is a very aggressive push, and I guess he's expecting an eco, but far from it. The players from AGF are armed, and well, Sparrow might know that even though he catches Dafu off guard, he still doesn't secure the frag.
So much damage done, but like you say, there's no trades, and oh, Hades does get the aggro push. A little lucky with the timing there as he catches off on to Nafu in the flanks. Christo spots out the information at least, but still Hades sticking around by this A side. Luki allowed to go aggro, but a great spam at least. So much damage done. Christo and TMB incredibly low, but again, haven't faltered yet. Oh, and look at this. They're not even aware of what is to come right now. Hades shut down easily. That is the A bomb site put under pressure. Smoke down as well, blocking off any vision that Minio will have from Garbage. He's already dead as well. Bullet to the head finishes the job. The rest of the players on for a save. 7-4 as AGF took them a couple of rounds, but back to winning ways they go.
Yep, exactly that. Go for the purchase here, and it works out wonders for them. Also, as the aggression there from Wisla Krakow didn't work out whatsoever. Maybe it should have been a little bit more coordinated in the sense that you have Sparrow and you have the other player pushing alongside them. Maybe that would have been the better way to go about it. But also with such lengthier spacing, maybe that's the opportunity when Sparrow goes down for the other player to actually get that kill. But who knows how it would have been the most optimal way to go about it. The fact still remains. It is 7 for AGF. The Krakow, though, they're losing around like that. It's a bit of a dent in their economy, but not enough to force them on an eco, but just enough to get the buy rolling.
This one, like you say, money is a real factor. Christo having a great game, actually. It's very, I wouldn't say rare, that's a little bit insulting, but it's, for an AWP on a T side, very uncommon to see them at the top of the leaderboard, so he is having a great game here. Still, nevertheless, aggro push, Minio gets away with the frag, damage onto TMB as well. They will be getting themselves found at least a trade, but TMB tagged. Here's the Krakow. Already getting themselves safer back to the bomb sites, but plenty of time for AGF. No need to force this. The one thing that they've been good on this T side so far is the rotates, when to commit, when to rotate if necessary. Still, 55 on the clock. With so much information gathered here by Wisla Krakow, they can almost guarantee that this is an A-sided approach. Fnatic should start the rotate here. There is pretty much nothing on the B side, although a bit of a rotate by AGF might force them in their tracks here. A very slow approach, but look at Yedka. That in the back lines waiting for the approach. They do actually look to check the corner, but it's 3 players, still only gets 1 of them though. And Fnatic lucky to get the return. Advantage restored with 20 seconds on the clock now.
There's the push. Hades holding with the off, missing the shot, but just 10 seconds remaining. The round seems to be coming to the end here. Christo tries to plant the bomb, but Sparrow is here. I've got to say, though, when we saw the players going down the staircase there, they were actually thoroughly checking out the angles. I'm just very surprised that one angle in which the Wisla Krakow player was hiding at, they don't check it. Thus, he gets the one, but most importantly, he gets the information for a swift rotation. 5-7 indeed is the current scoreline here. AGF back in the purchase. Just enough to get those weapons out. Bit of a shame that Frostlet and Luke just have to play in the pistols, but that's extra utility for them. Hades is expecting some sort of advancement to come through. Does back away. Maybe the early engagement. He does win against Frostlet.
It's such a great turnaround actually by Wisla Krakow here in this first half. Say that AGF had a very overwhelming lead at the beginning. They've really been able to turn this one nicely on its head so far. Barrow gets away with the second, making it so much easier for them to now control this one. A little bit of a peek into the molly, but even pushing through smokes here. AGF just seeming to throw their stuff at the wall and hope it sticks. But this time Wisla Krakow, far too good. Clean round as well. CT side looking very comfortable now, and sure, AGF have 7 T-sided rounds, but with the way that they started, with a 6-1 scoreline, Wisla Krakow have done a great job to get themselves back into this, and with money gone now, it's going to be most likely 7-7, so the first half will be as close as it can be here.
Yeah, it's turning out to be that way. It's either a possible 9-6 scoreline or the 8-7. 9-6 though, probably not going to happen, but this would require AGF to win this round with pistols, and that's rather difficult. Dafu does make his way very quickly out of connector. Sparrow, he is being overwhelmed, not gonna lie. Doesn't make the bullets of one player, but does go down eventually. Hayes holds the line with the up, gets a second kill, and Minio's always there with the spray. So 7-7 it is. The scoreline has been evened up. And Wisla Krakow are looking a lot better here in this latter stages of the first half. You see Hayes also getting a few kills here, Minio as well. If they make it 8-7, overall, that's not a bad half. Considering they were also down 6-1, they've done a tremendous job fighting for their lives here in this first half.
Especially with the way that the CT side, like you say, has just been able to make that comeback. The way that, yet again, through the Molotov they go. Good first by Fnatic. So much damage inflicted though, Yedka. It's an easy little shutdown. The nade onto the site, the Molotov to deny the plant as well. So both players tagged up here in the process, surely. Health isn't too bad, but well, that nade will pretty much ensure the round is done. Wisla Krakow, 8-7 should be coming for them here as Hades does lose his life. Looking for the 1-on-3, but not this time at all. 8-7. Wisla Krakow, no matter which way you want to spin it, they find victory in the first half despite AGF having a great start. It's an even better comeback by Wisla.
Yeah, it's really not bad what they've managed to accomplish here. All things considering, they can be happy of their accomplishments here in the first half. And of course, considering this is also the opponent's map pick, I wonder what can AGF do on the CT side. I think maybe it's going to be a little bit easier for them. We talked about how they have this sort of open door policy when it comes down to the fifth player. So now all they're going to have to rely on is their individuals hitting shots. And on overpass, AGF seems to be a capable team of doing so. Every single player has been able to chip in from time to time and getting those kills on the T side. So they should be able to do the exact same on the CT side. Now, TMB, information play for him. Doesn't see a player, now spots him out, but considers to back away and doesn't want to go for any further engagements.
Right thing to do here as well. Playing super safe on that CT side. It's a great little read actually out of AGF with the way that they are set up. 2 players down on to the main part of the bomb site. Player in heaven. 1 by graffiti as well. It's a very good setup. With the way that right now they've just got Minio pretty much solo lurking around toward this A bomb site. Couple of shots to be fired. Again, seeming a little bit maybe a tentative here, and yeah, that is exactly the right way to play Yedka though. Beautiful so far, but Lukey comes in with 3 of his own, and Frostleft keeps his teammate alive long enough for him to wrap it up. Lukey again, that highlight player, bringing life to the pistol. 8-8, and AGF back to winning ways as they tie up the scoreline.
Oh, but it's always so difficult to pop out a monster. And in this case, it wasn't even a player with a 5.7, P50, or a CZ75 on the other side. It was USBs for days, and Lukey, what a stellar hold. 8-8 is the scoreline here in Wisla Krakow. Second round, force fight. Standard stuff here. Just need to rush in the B-bomb set very quickly, in fact. This is the real challenge. The utility has been used, and the bullets fly through. Yedeker finds 2. Sparrow gets the kill on TMB, and this round is already over. You can see that the Polish have taken over the bomb site, and Fnatic, it's a great spot to actually get the kill here on Krista. In fact, they're going for a bit of a boost. He should get the info from his teammates, and once he does, he's just going to swing out, probably get at least 1 kill. Wait for it. Ah, there we go. Double peek. This is okay, not so much. Frostleft survives to live another day. Sparrow's got that nade, though. Oh, I gotta check it in. But it's pretty obvious the round is already over. AGF's Frostleft is already retreating.
Oh dear. Wisla Krakow forced by brute force again, as we've seen throughout every game so far that we've witnessed today, really being the aim of the game. Interesting as well that every single half that we've had, I believe, has sort of reached the 8 and 7 point. Being a very, very close day. Wisla Krakow back into the lead they go. AGF now will be on a force buy of their own, but a little bit of a tactical timeout, the right place to sort of really set this up here. Give them that little bit of breathing time, especially when they're facing up against the likes of a force buy. But casting over to the B stream here, at least, seems like alternate attacks versus level up in that 1-to-1 bracket as well. Level up, actually, aside, that actually really impressed me in the qualifier. Obviously got into this stage via the wild card due to adaptation. I think like their players got poached by an org, so rest in peace to those boys. But I'm impressed with level up. They've shown a lot since the closed qualifier.
It's interesting as well that the addition of enemy seems to be a pretty nice pickup here for level up. One of the interesting things, I think when I saw them play earlier for level up in the Swiss system, I think it ended up being the highest fragging individual, which is something you could never say him in the contact team. He would very rarely be at the top of the scoreboard. He had a different role in that sense. Right now, it seems to be a great impact there for a level up. Of course, also playing in Serbian team means he can communicate in his own native tongue, which definitely eased things up. Molotov chucks in, and wow, Frostlove and TMB peek out. Kill is theirs. Neo, though, going for a bit of a spray the road streams, will not find anything but Hayes has found himself an entrance on the A-bomb side. Silent, but deadly.
Oh, takes the head of Sparrow. This is perfect so far for Wisla Krakow. Sorry, for AGF as Wisla. It is so odd to see how this half has started. Back-to-back force buy rounds and maybe back-to-back on the way scarily. 45 approaching. Bomb is down in the hands of the CT side. The way that this T side is approaching, they have really got to be careful. Minio gets away with one. Frost left though denies. Making it nice and easy here as Hayes. Good couple of kills in return. There is a 1v2 for him to play as Bomb sure open for business, but the kill closed off. 9-9. This is a very interesting start to the second half. Back-to-back rounds for the force investments, and I just saw as well before the replay, Wisla, they're rebuying, of course.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way. It is going to be a reinvestment from the side of Wisla. It's also been dissatisfying that, Hayes, the reason why he didn't want to help out his teammates is because he held such a great position there in the A-bomb side. They had no idea he was on that part of the map, so he thought, I should keep on holding the spot. Then I may be able to cut off some rotations. But, as we saw at the end there, Frostlove being able to eliminate those two players, it would really set the round in favor of AGF. Now Wisla will try to go with a victory of their own right. For not a lot of damage being exchanged, in fact any for that matter. Very slow approach. Now they're beginning to fight for some map control. They're going out here towards long. We'll have to face a player in the form of Frostlove though. And Frostlove, yeah, he's just spotting. Waiting for the players to appear in his crosshairs, then he can check in the smoke and play it safe. Christo sleeping on the trigger there a little bit.
The Krakow really taking their sweet time, but you can see with the additions that they've got here, it is going to be a sort of answer right now. Up to the A side. Oh dear, this again. Really? 30 on the clock. Wisla Krakow 4-on-2. Bomb goes down. We're about to see back-to-back force buy rounds. What is this second half right now? Dafu gets the only kill of the round. And sure, Wisla Krakow get themselves a 10th on the board. Dafu looking to do as much damage as he can, but oh, this is probably one of the most awkward starts to a second half I've seen in a hell of a long time.
Okay, maybe not. So I thought, oh, maybe, just maybe, but the smoke grenade gets stuck on the containers nonetheless. I don't think there's gonna be force support from AGF here, or no, it is, of course. They're going for it. The pistols are out, the armor is out as well. Dying and ready, polished. Get some few kills in, and Wisla Krakow, you can see all the players seem to be going towards the same direction. Sticking together for this one, which probably seems to be the best choice. And Nico. Always scared to have a player in underpass though, Sparrow, and move up his way in connector it feels like, but become an easy target. So many angles to check, and if you're always going out there by yourself and you don't have any sort of backup, you can lose that AK-47 very quickly. But AGF, of course, here in pistols, they shouldn't stand much of a chance against Wisla, but I mean, it's just so hard to predict right now who can do it. Who can come out on top?
Even with full AKs on the side of Wisla Krakow right now, they just don't feel safe. With the way that this half has started, these pistols taking such a sporadic effect, they really do not feel safe. Wisla Krakow looking to take away this round and start to extend their run here on the T side. Bear in mind, it is the map pick of AGF here, so Wisla Krakow can win out on overpass. They set themselves up for what could be a very nice series already. Good return by Lukey, but Sparrow getting the refrags. Hades and Fnatic wrapping up the round this time, 11-9. And finally, we see some consistency. 2 rounds won in a row will force an eco round of AGF. A chance at 12-9. Wisla Krakow taking quite an extended lead compared to what we've seen in these very scrappy first few rounds. They're finally getting themselves a barrier established now.
I mean, it has to be, right? After winning that force spike earlier, it is going to be a simple eco. Well, I say that, but again, you do have to deal with that play, so don't count them out just yet. Luki, oddly enough, and Frostlev investing in the armors as well. I'd say that's a bit too much. Players don't really necessarily have the most amount of money heading into this one, but there you go. Already, first frag considered. It's a trade frag, so it's a 4-on-4. Not that bad of a situation for the CTs, but that, oh, that's a perfect flashbang. At least the backup is there for Fnatic. Yet occurred. Needs to move in. There's going to be a few Molotovs chucked in, deployed. Now you can see that the players from Wisla Krakow entering the bomb site, being very thorough in their approach. Figuring out the angles here. And Frostlev, even though he gets the one, Lukey does go down. Eventually, 12-9 will be the scoreline. And will be Wisla Krakow. Like you said, with that barrier established, but in the previous round we did see a purchase there from some of the players of AGF, and yeah, look at this. They're not in a position to buy up properly, so Wisla Krakow get another great opportunity to get another round on the board.
Yeah, looking to, like you say, just surefire the economy into a fuller state. It's going to be a nade stack out toward the A bomb site here, something that has been read very well. Hades gets 2 before he falls. Like you say, Wisla Krakow not scared of, AGF not scared of giving up an extra round here to ensure that they have a full buy moving forward. It is going to pretty much extend the run for Wisla Krakow though. 13-9 is a very confident way to go into a first CT full gun round. They'll be setting up what is quite the extended lead. It'll take 4 rounds to get back to any sort of relative tie for AGF. Boost not going to be applicable this time, actually, just playing it safe. Saving up the AK into the next round as well. Maybe allows them for a double AWP perhaps. Wisla Krakow, considering that the previous encounter with AGF on overpass, into overtime, is a very good position to be in. 13-9 with a First investment out of the CT side, or first full investment coming. It's a great spot to be in. They take away this next round. They're on to a map point already. But it's down to this one here. Wisla Krakow, so far impressed, but it's time for AGF to step up here.
They must. They absolutely must at this point. The second half is coming to an abrupt end, and if Wisla Krakow will be given more rounds to win, that will be the end of this one, especially with this gun round if it goes in their pockets. But with such a prominent investment as the one in the hands of AGF, they have all the tools. Actually, look around like this. Do they have the craftsmanship? Well, that's a good question. It is a good start, though. You trade frags, a few blows being exchanged, but at the end of the day, it's AGF with 4 players alive.
First start. Nice early entries as they get the short control and pretty much the B bomb site in their favor now. Seems like Wisla Krakow will actually stick around, though. Wanting to apply that pressure. Hades, though, catches TMB as the smoke does dissipate. Re-smoke down by the CT side, but look at the time on the clock here for AGF. They've got to sit for a minute right now while Wisla Krakow work out what they want to do here. The B-bomb site, the weaker one for Wisla, though. There's 2 players of AGF are opposing. Still, with the time on the clock, they can almost sit and wait out a mistake from AGF here, providing sure they hit the shot. Well, Hades does extend the peak. Molotov down into Toxic, covering them off for now. 30 seconds on the clock, though. It seems like it will be a B-sided take. With the positions that they've gotten, there's the great burst. The timing's good for a second, though, as Fnatic really mixed the two there. Gets away with the frag. Down to a 1v2, and it's all on to Cristo now.
One peek as well. He goes in here, nice flashbang, but Cristo out here with the op. Here for the engagement, trying to get at least one of the players first, and then focusing on the other guy. He's inching his way forward, but the no-scope doesn't land. Another victory here for Wisla. A very slow approach in the B-bomb side, all things considering. Apparently worked out fine for them. Nice nade being thrown out at the pillar. He's one player in low HP, then managed to eliminate Frost left relatively quickly, and from there on out it becomes a matter of just having the prominent crossfire setup and just hitting the shots. Great stuff here from Wisla. Very nice stuff coming in, and it is a bit of a daunting scoreline for AGF. It is 14-9, and the players still invest here. Want to make sure that they get this round on the board because their chances are running out very quickly. Yedeker, though, tries to see the investment come through. Actually gets himself 1 and 2, but that's perfect. Goes in for 3, and that really is it. AGF's offense has been destroyed. The Panzers cannot move any longer, and Wisla 5v2 right now. They can just go wherever they want. They have such a huge edge in this round. It's almost impossible to lose.
Bear in mind that this is AGF's map pick as well. This is scary now, considering the fact that Wisla Krakow, Overpass sure is not a statistically great map for them, but it's one where in the previous encounter with AGF themselves, they went into overtime here. Overtime is not even looking like any sort of possibility right now. Frost left does manage to find himself a beautiful triple in return, but the manpower just far too much for Wisla Krakow there. Would eventually be able to wrap things up. So 15-9, that's already looking like they might be able to pull a victory out of this one. And again, we go into Nuke as that sort of next map coming up here, and they beat Wisla Krakow on Nuke scarily here, AGF. 16-10 in Home Sweet Home Cup 8 when the last time they played. Then they lost to a side like Big Academy more recently. Just again sparks a lot of questions moving into Nuke about where that map will go, but with this one, a 4-on-3 with TMB heavily tagged and, well, already dead at this point. I think we know where this one's going. Wisla Krakow, they look like they've already sedimented a victory here in map number 1.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious at this point. Dafu in one part of the map, Luki on the other side. Not even the brighter one. Wisla not necessarily sticking together for this one, which is a little bit weird for my liking. And at this point, they just brute force their way, even if there are two players in the same bomb side, hypothetically. Dafu spots him out, knows what's going on. He will have the swift rotation from Lukey. Maybe they can get a few players in the back lines. Lukey, though, nope, not gonna happen. Hades is aware of that. And now it's Lonesome Dafu left in a 1-on-4. Bomb plant has commenced. Dafu has no defuse kit, has the FAMAS flashbang and armor. Now they are burning. Gets a kill here in 1, but that will be the end of Overpass. Wisla Krakow, they just power their way through to victory as they absolutely decimate the opposition here on the T side. What a splendid run from their part.
So scary how quickly that map disappeared for AGF. Wisla Krakow stepped up to the plate and just showed exactly what they were wanting to do on Overpass. They get it done, they take the map, and they really set themselves up with a very, very difficult series on their side now for AGF. Sure, they've beaten Wisla Krakow on Nuke once already, but they are coming in against a pumped-up side, ready and raring to take a series victory 2-0. We'll take a short break, though. It is Nuke on the cards next. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break, 10 minutes or so, and we'll be back with map number 2.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission. system online.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here into map number 2. It is Nuke here, the map pick of Wisla Krakow, and after Overpass pretty much went quite uncomfortably for AGF. We'll see how the second map does go here in this one, but it is going to be Wisla Krakow picking into Nuke. We'll see what they can do to try and close out the series. Looking for a 2-0, but we'll see what this second map does have to offer.
Yeah, it's interesting as well that these two teams have already faced off in Nuke, and actually, AGF, they managed to win it. This was, of course, back in the days of the Home Sweet Home Cup. AGF managed to win it 16-10. Of course, the AGF roster was also comprising of Dafu, but they also had Netric in the mix instead of Christo, of course. So absolutely, I mean, if you're a team like Wisla Krakow, you probably have done your homework, you've done your research, and you're probably going to make sure that you don't end up losing a 13-2 half. It actually happened last time around. The CTs of AGF managed to win 13 rounds, and Wisla just managed to scrape by 2 rounds. So clearly, they're going to make sure that does not repeat.
So, and yeah, this is where Wisla Krakow on their own map pick sort of basically have to avoid doing what AGF did and sort of falling out on their own map as Jedka gets away with a nice set of damage, but down to a 4-on-3. I think a couple of kills came in on the side of Wisla, but just the one for now. Second there is. Look at the health of these players. 9 between 2 of them. Seeming like AGF might just get off to a solid start here on Nuke so far. Pistol be looking likely. Oh, such a good push there by TMB. Butts covered off nice and easy. Wait a second, no, Medio. Oh dear. Well, there you have it. AGF, fairly simple pistol round to start Nuke off.
Yeah, it doesn't really work out in the favor of Wisla Krakow whatsoever. Even initially there, Jedka, the first kill he finds is actually on Sparrow. He accidentally killed his own teammate there.
I didn't see that.
And then Jedka gets the refrag. Still somewhat of a doable position for Wisla to be in, but then you just saw the players being so low HP from the Wisla side. It is incredibly difficult to bounce back from a situation as that. Yeah, the pistol is going to favor AGF. Again, though, clearly Wisla Krakow, they must have done their homework. They could potentially lose the next few rounds, considering the lack of purchase, or shall I say, the not a very good viability of these 4 spies. Clearly, I'm sure that the gun rounds will be looking much better here for Wisla. Now, of course, in a round like this, it's pretty simple to execute on the A-bombs at all things, considering they have the players ready and waiting to check in those smokes, flashes, Molotovs. We're going to be seeing the pistols getting as close as possible to the rifles and some of the SMGs here. It could get gritty, but it's the nature of this round.
Door open, fairly standard. Dafu, good hold. TMB the same, nice and easy so far. Christo comes in to provide the support. And yeah, that's exactly what you want to see from AGF there. Picking themselves up a nice and easy second round on the board. As Wisla Krakow will be into their eco now for this one. We'll be able to head down into a full buy for the next, but should be a solid 3-0 start for the side of AGF, and looking like it should be a great way to kick off Nuke here. Like you say, they've played once already, like Overpass. It was AGF that were able to take away the victory, and they can do that, and it opens up a very nice conversation for a map like Train. Be that third and final here, but look at Christo. That beyond the smoke does get worked out nice and easy by Jedka. Loving the confidence out of him, but we'll see what the rest of the side can do to wrap this one up for AGF. Good return by Lukey. Able to keep his side somewhat safe for now. TMB with the Tech 9 just brute forcing their way through this one. It will be a third round, of course. Wisla on to their first buy coming up, but a clean start for the CT side.
Not bad. There you go. That's the start you're looking for if you're AGF here, especially on the CT side of Nuke. But of course, the real challenge begins now on these real investments. The real gun rounds will begin to play. Wisla, this map, I am expecting an a fair amount of rounds on the T side of Nuke, and I'm sure they'll be able to deliver. Aids with AWP as well. Right answer for this team. Doors being blown right open, and oh, Christo gets the better of Hades. Tries to go for a bit of a wall bang as well. Does not connect, but losing one player, having Sparrow on 55. That's not the start you're looking for if you're Wisla. Oh, and as well, Christo. What an angle.
With the player inside a door as well, they can draw out the attention now. Sparrow gets baited into a peak there, loses his life already. So far, a great start here for AGF. Fnatic tagged down inside of little trophy room as well. This is a convincing start again from AGF. Like we saw on Overpass, we're able to string those early rounds together. Recall that it was a 6-1 scoreline for AGF before Vizsla started picking up the slack. So seems like again AGF just very good at starting games. We'll see if they can keep the energy up. But a 5-on-3 looking like this one should be very manageable here for the side of the CTs. Maybe even considering a save here for Vizsla, but ramp pressure on its way. TMB goes to denial, spots out the second, does the damage, but still alive somehow here. TMB has the support now from ramp. Lukey there to swing. The job is done. 4-0 start. Beautiful so far from AGF.
Yeah, nice one indeed. Winning the pistol round clearly wasn't enough for them. They've also come out on top with a gun round victory. Now, of course, for Wisla, they're going to get extra money after this round is over. They might as well go for the partial investment. If there's a map in which these investments tend to work out quite often, I would say, Nuke is definitely one of them. I mean, have the utilities here, right, in the form of some smokes, flashbangs, and the Molotovs here, and the upper bomb site pushes sometimes really go in favor of these pistols, just because the range, shall I say, lack of range there between the CTs and the Ts. The pistols are able to come in and do some nice kills. Not to mention, if you do know your smokes and your flashbangs, you can really blind the CTs for a very lengthy period of time. And once you're players and just pistols come in, damage has already been done. So, a bit of a spray there for TMB. Does deal the damage and hits, but he's got to be careful. Those sprays work both ways. And another one.
Yeah, he's just rattling off bullets. TMB only got 60 left in the mag. Got to be careful with how he distributes the rest, but two players already tagged up. This is at least a nice start for AGF. Secret rotates from TMB though. He'll keep on going. So much damage here in this round. 160 plus an extra 200 there. He's got himself a lot of damage. Fnatic, nice little return, but Frostleft making him now all lonely here on the A-bomb site. That will be a 5-0 start here. Wisla Krakow, rebuy to come, but again, like Overpass, it's a real solid start from AGF once more.
There we go, 5-0 it is. What a run of form so far from AGF. Somewhat reminiscent of what we saw in the early days of Overpass. It's just that on Overpass, you are on the T side of all places. Now Wisla, another gun round at them. If this one doesn't succeed, however, I guess that's when we see a pause come in for the polls. Because if a 6th round goes in favor of AGF, that's where you begin to wonder about your opportunities here on Nuke. Maybe you gotta change things up in one way or another. We'll see if that's the case. Right now, Frostleft playing a dangerous game up close in silo. Off angle should be good at least for 1 kill, and if the terrorists aren't careful enough, could propel him to 2.
I've got to be careful here. And Ninefive and Wisla are a very passive approach so far. This hold be baiting with the AWP. That's sort of the main objective here. If they can sort of full focus onto Christo, it really takes away from this action. But Sparrow, Shadow spotted, but no, not this time. Finally, a good return out of them here. TMB forced to back away so far. It is Secret now put under threat. With time ticking away, Lukey does not want to be leaving that B bomb site. Not at this sort of stage when TMB hears the footsteps pattering down below him. He spot, although baits out the shot there. Perfect so far. 40 seconds left. Wisla Krakow into the A side they will go. And with TMB already dead, 4 on 2. Looking like the T side might just be snatching away a first round.
Very good timing to get them both so clean. But then you have Yettercrew coming in from the A-bomb site. I wonder when his flank is going to come through. And Lukey, gets eliminated by Hades as well. Nice round coming in from Wisla. Even though it does go down to the 2-on-2, the positioning was just so good. Definitely nice shots here on Fnatic and Minio, but yeah, Yettercrew was in a prime position. We did witness him that one instance in Blue Hut, but the reason behind it is he was trying to cut off some rotations, and of course he comes in for the vents, and it's a nice backstab on Dafu. So the first round goes in favor of Wisla Krakow, but they obviously need more than that. Absolutely so. They need as many as they can here, and that it's barely doing any damage. In fact, no damage here in Sparrow as he runs down Secret. That is super fast.
MB might not even be aware of what is up here at this point. Ooh, Lukey. Good early entry, Yedka gets away with one. Christo tries the faster flick, but not this time. Now Sparrow looking to pincer into the site. Here's TMB inside of Titanic. Not yet been spotted. Dafu gets away with the refrag onto Sparrow as he killed off his teammate. There's TMB. Peterson gets away with one, make it to AGF. That is perfect. They're now isolated. Dafu with the simple shutdown. 6-1 and AGF. Great way to get back to winning ways here. Replicating the scoreline right at the start of Overpass.
It's so sad as well that Sparrow, he was in a great position to eliminate, I think it might have been TMB there. Does playing up close Secret. And then of course Sparrow, he's still playing it slow. He's moving into the bomb site itself. Don't really jump Titanic, but definitely costs him a bit. Costs him around really. So the Krakow, at least they're back with a purchase. I mean, in the olden days of Counter-Strike, their economy would be absolutely wrecked. At least they can reinvest here. Got the AKs, scout in the hands of Hades, and even a pistol here from Fnatic, so it's not the worst possible purchase. It can definitely be worse ones, and it could absolutely be worse for wear. At least got the utility to cross safely down Secret, but you do have Christo on the other side. Nice Molotov will force him out of position. It'll be TMB to secure the initial frag.
Christo gets out safely. Wisla Krakow really wanting to redirect, but TMB. Oh, it is so beautiful to watch right now. AGF, unlike Overpass, able to actually keep up with the winning streak so far. Down into a 4-on-2. Sparrow tagged up, but gets away with at least a refrag. 50 on the clock, but really, where can they even go at this point? Very little map control. Lukey holding towards outside. Realizes that something might be up here as Sparrow does get the drop on him. Straight up the ladder he goes toward the A side for safety. That is perfect. Wisla Krakow. They're getting lots of damage in, but yeah, just none right now that is really setting up for any kills. Christo denies Fnatic. They know exactly where Sparrow's last location was. This will be 7-1 and money broken for Wisla Krakow.
That's really dissatisfying here, Wisla. It's going to be an eco for them, meaning AGF could potentially be up 8-1. Scoreline reminiscent of the previous encounter where AGF had an amazing CT side, and so far Wisla Krakow, I can't really say they found a lot of success. I mean, in terms of post plants, there were basically 2 post plants. No, actually, even just 1 post plant scenario, honestly. The other parts, even though they made their way into the bomb site, they just couldn't even get the bomb down. That is incredibly dissatisfying. At least if you're getting the bomb plants, maybe you're in those 3v3s or 2v2s. But this is the summation here on the first half. The Krakow not having it easy, and they're aware of the situation. That is why they've gone for the pause. They're going to have a tactical discussion to figure things out. Maybe not for this round. This round, as you can see, it is somewhat of an eco, partial investment here and there, but the next round, after this one's over. And
like Wisla are fairly limited on all aspects here. Again, pistols. I'm not going to write them out though. I've seen quite a dangerous approach from these pistols in the past few games today. Molotov down though, straight through it they go. Minimal damage taken, but Fnatic burning. And the brute force down into Secret. Oh, nice little wipe out of him. Dafu and Crystal though. Oh, sorry, Christu hampering on the A-bomb site. Yedka down low, same for Fnatic. Be a nice and simple cleanup. And again, AGF actually have looked really good handling the anti-eco rounds, tech knives, and those types of weapons. So easy to falter to, like we saw with LDLC and Nexus, but AGF have been standing tall so far. More importantly, they've already wrapped up the first half with minimum rounds of 8 gathered already, so anything from here on out is a bonus. We know that DT side nuke isn't as one-sided as we are used to seeing back in the olden days, but even so, with the way that it's going so far, AGF, they could really even push for double digits so far.
Yeah, that's on the cards. AGF. I did not expect this. I honestly didn't expect to see AGF have such a stellar run here in the CT side of nuke. I thought Wisla Krakow would this one a little bit different, but not the case so far. It's just the same spanking they received in the previous encounter. Maybe they can still turn it around. I mean, if they get the 5 rounds in, if they get the 6 rounds, I still have hope, but it's gonna be. Oh, there we go. That's an opportunity. Hey, it secures the frag here in Luki. Now we're seeing some untimely aggression from AGF, and it gets punished. That's probably the opening Wisla Krakow was begging for.
I think for the first time, these past sort of 5-6 rounds, they've actually been able to find themselves an entry. AGF, what will they do? Keep hold of that. Oh, look at this position from Frost left. He's not even checked the flashbang though. Keeping him alive as Minio side the red container does manage to get away with the refrag. Back to a 3-on-3. The trades at least have been made with the position of Christo toward outside. With the way that right now they've already got a flank on the cards, TMB. This could be such a punished position right now. He is working his way around slowly but surely. Checks every single angle, should be an easy frag, and of course it is. Realizing now. No! Oh, Christo! Okay. AGF, this is turning into a stomp right now, and I'm not talking about the Polish sniper.
Oh, that's a reference. It took me a while to figure it out, but then, I remember a stomp. I remember a stomp flick. But here, AGF, I mean, this is truly something as a whole new level. Wisla Krakow. Maybe this is one of the instances where you have all 5 players. Go for a single push. Go towards the B-bomb. Set full-on commitment, if you will. Maybe this is the recipe that they can find brownies out of. There we go. Luki spots out many players coming his way. Does continue to back away. There's the damage being dealt. TMB, good frag and Sparrow. Now Wisla Krakow begins to make their way descending into the B-bomb site. The madness does continue. They will have presence over the site itself here, Wisla. But Neo goes down. Fnatic, good kill comes in. Dafu chimes in. And Hades left in a 1-on-2. But TMB's got the angle. In fact, both the players will peek out from 2 different angles. And that's going to be a 10-1 scoreline. Wisla Krakow absolutely take the timeout. You need one. Desperately.
Carry how one-sided nuke is becoming right now. The fact that this is Wisla Krakow's map pick. They have already achieved double digits. I mean, the round loss bonus is at its maximum right now. Will be able to set themselves up with, again, a full investment on the rebuy, but with AGF, there seems to be no slowing them down. The way that they have been set up so far, losing minimal players. They've got the economy stacked on players like Christo, Dafu. They're safe at least for the next couple rounds, and again, it really is going to be a testament to what Wisla Krakow can do to scramble this first half here, or else pretty much we are going to be seeing a very quick end here to nuke. the favour that maybe neither of us actually did expect, but Wisla Krakow, look at the aggression from AGF right now. Christo, confident enough to push. Yedka will get a return toward the CT side, trade it back to a 4v4. Sparrow with a little bit of a lurker play down towards B, but again, it seems like Wisla almost need a miracle to win around here.
I mean, just as an example, the A side hold has been so good. We are yet to see a bomb plant on that area of the map. This is such a solid affair here for AGF. See if they can keep it up though. So Krakow make their way out of control room to enter the B side. They should be able to eliminate Christo, yeah, relatively quickly. He was isolated with just the one semi-WP. Bomb is getting planted as well. Can be the player, and Sparrow will eliminate him. There we go. The second round seems to be in the hands of Wisla Krakow. Didn't slip away as well. You can see Frostlight is very far behind, and Luki will still linger around here for a bit, maybe look for some exit frags, but you can see that the round is coming to an end. It will be the second one for Wisla Krakow. At the very least, it's now scoreline reminiscent of how the first time they encountered each other on Nuke. Wisla Krakow had the 2 rounds again. Sure that they will now be in position to get at least a few more, but not going to be easy considering that the players of AGF will have loads of money to work, so the reinvestment will come through. For them, money is not an issue, at least not in round number 13.
Yes, yeah, they're set up ready for a rebuy to come here. Second round on the board for Wisla Krakow. They double the tally so far. Interestingly, that there's 5 rounds apiece for AGF before Wisla have been able to win both of their rounds here. See whether or not they can bounce back. Like you say, 5 rounds will be like a saving grace for this squad. Yedka, though, just completely battered inside of the close vent scenario. Taken out by Christo even through the wall bang. And that does give, again, a very tricky scenario for Wisla Krakow to handle here. They lose the first player. The way that AGF are currently set up, they've got A-site defense, they've got bomb site ramp control and down into secret as well, but the confident thing is they're allowing Wisla Krakow to sort of gain outside control and work for the sort of, you know, pressure points on a map that actually some CT sides are very scared to let go of. But AGF, they know they can just sit back on these sites. Like you say, their A hold has been that good that Wisla Krakow have very rarely even committed to the A side here in this first half, and you can just tell with the way it's going so far that AGF really are dominating in more ways than one. Just, you know, scoreline very, very apparent, but still walking in toward this held position. Luki is very aware. Oh, the shot missed by Sparrow though. That's a big outlier here. 30 seconds on the clock, and with no commitment toward any bomb site yet actually by the bomb, they've got to decide literally right now where they want to hit.
Oh, this is so bad as well. 20 seconds. Haynes is still out there towards the outside area, so maybe we now see the commitment on new bombs. Oh, there's a player here. Christo's out of the picture. Now I can see the bomb plant here from Wisla. MVP recovered here. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Minio close, gets the kill here on one of these players, looks for the other individual. Sparrow goes down. Oh, now it's all to Sparrow. He does run out of bullets. That'll be another victory here for AGF. 11, in fact. Wisla Krakow, this time around, at least it's a bomb plant. At least it's a 2-on-2, but again, it just... round win. Not the round win again.
Where?
That is absolutely crazy.
Where do I come?
The one thing that is kind of a scary factor is how much Christo likes to sit in isolated corners with his AWP. That is a little bit lackluster. Did the same down in Titanic. Needs to be careful with his positioning there, but thankfully the rest of AGF are really popping off here to provide ample opportunity for this side to close out these rounds. Once again, Frost left. He's going to deep embed himself into outside. The point of the matter is that Wisla Krakow are almost so, I wouldn't say tilted, but so just they've got other things on their mind than checking corners, that's what I'm trying to say. That allows Frostleft to sit in that sort of position and just get away with the kill before being traded. You can see it's already a 4-on-2. With the way that this is going, it looks like a 13-2 half might even be possible right now for AGF, because money is gone for Vizsla if they lose this one. What a weird turnaround this series is already looking to be. Both of the teams losing their own map pick, but I never expected it to be so one-sided on a map like Nuke.
Indeed. Especially considering this is Wisla's map pick, so I was hoping that they have learned from their mistakes and that at least get a few more rounds at the T side. They needed to start it off on the CD side. Maybe that would have been better for them, but it is what it is right now, and it is number 14. A's and Fnatic are sticking together in this one. They begin to make their way. There's the kill from Lukey. And looks and hates. Does try to evade the bullets for now. He might just plant the bomb on the B side, though. There's really no one to try and stop him. The bomb plant seems to be... Nope, not gonna happen. Hades is now Molotovs, bullets, you name it. Everything is hit Hades. And it is 12-2 right now. Wisla Krakow. They still have one opportunity to win one more round here in the first half. But even with 3, that is just such a difficult task for them.
Dominant play. I'm very impressed how AGF lost their own map pick but bounced back to already pretty much decide that we go to the third here in this one. BT side, we've pretty much never seen a very dominant result on a map like Nuke since the meta change, but this is throwing us back to sort of 2015-16 Nuke with the way this is going. AGF, final round of the first half. Wisla Krakow pressuring these early entry points. Dafu, timing a little bit off there, unfortunately. Does get away with the early kill there for Minio. Arrow finds a second, better this time. Looking like Wisla Krakow might be in with a chance of wrapping up a third at least to end the half, but, well, I was going to say don't count them out yet. The way that goes, Yetska, 80s, gets it done. 12-3 at the end. Again, it's not great, but it does give them a third round to head into the second half with. But I'm very impressed with AGF on Nuke so far.
Yeah, I mean, at least they get the third round right, but it is just going to be incredibly difficult for them to pull off a comeback here. I mean, we're talking winning, well, just to catch up, that would be 9 rounds in a row. I mean, it's like a pistol round, sure, that maybe is a little bit more likely, but the pistol round is lost. The gun rounds is also lost. That's it. That's going to be the end here for Nuke, but let's see how it plays out. AGF could get a little bit complacent. I mean, even in the game they played earlier, well, not earlier, but last time they met on Nuke, it was an amazing lead for AGF, but Wisla still managed to win 10 rounds in a row. Frostleft, though, and Co. entering the bomb, so I'm going to make sure that does not happen. This is a very solid hit. That is going to be 13. Minio looking for help in the skies. But how can he win this one? I just don't see it happening.
Oh dear. This is such a disappointment from Wisla Krakow. The fact that they, sure, we can sort of say that Overwatch was a bad choice for AGF, thinking playing against a team that is a little bit not as good on Overpass, but then you look at this one, the fact that AGF are making this so one-sided, it's almost like Wisla are just more tilted rather than not able to apply their skill at this point. 13-3. The full buy in the favor of AGF, of course. Wisla have to go for a force buy into this. Scout for Hades. Mag 7 for Fnatic. The rest is down onto pistols. We'll see where it goes here as AGF faster play toward ramp. Some very good damage inflicted, but Minio won't live to tell the tale, unfortunately. It's down to B they go. A good return by Hades. Gets at least a refrag, and with Sparrow inside of Titanic. Now, is this the spot they check? Yes, it is. Good return by Christo. As they do highlight already the position by Yedka. Will be a simple shutdown. 14-3, 15 seeming likely, and I think third map is already under a massive discussion at this point.
That nade as well. Of all the players that had to land on Chris, who had just a little bit more HP than Dafu. Maybe that's Dafu planning with TMB, maybe that's a kill. Not in this realm. Gonna be victory here for AGF. It did get a little bit scary. I mean, once I saw the initial grenade come in, there were about 2 or 3 players that suddenly were left at around 60-ish, 50-ish points of health. Very surprising that the AGF players still managed to come out on top here. Reach 14. So Wisla, yeah, might as well save the 2 weapons here. You got an AK-47 and a Max 7 that can still come in handy in the next round, and I would presume that is also where we do see an investment come out on the side of Wisla Krakow. They're thinking about it. There we go, it is.
Yeah. Like a little bit hesitant, but I think when you're this many rounds down, it is yeah, it's really not going to make any difference whether you take an eco here. It's going to be a lackluster buy nevertheless. So you respect the investment. Wisla Krakow almost realizing that they are on their final legs here. Good early entry at least, and great damage by Fnatic. Gets away with a second, but well, as we say that, TMB with a good return. Already down to a 3-on-2. With AGF already getting ready to put the plant down. That really minimizes what this Wisla side can do. Sparrow's already been heard. Molotov gives him away already. And this is looking like 15. AGF, they have done seemingly what is necessary to really just absolutely boot Wisla Krakow out of Nuke entirely.
Terrorists win.
15-3 right now. This is an incredible run for AGF. They can be absolutely proud of what they've done here. More round to go, though. This one's going to be a little bit more harder than the rest because Wisla Krakow, they've already lost 2 rounds in a row. Well, if you don't count the pistol one. Here, they got a few FAMASas. They got the Ford in the hands of Fnatic. Sparrow's even gone for the auto shoddy. Yetker. Oh, this is smart. Playing a dangerous game in the smoke. He gets the private one. Yetker gets spotted out. And the players from AGF will begin to run down the lower side. That is exactly what they're doing right now. But events, they might even consider going up. If a ballsy play to make, but with the confidence on their side, they might as well go for it.
The way that this map is going, it seems like everything is flooding for AGF here. They check the vent corner well. Yes, they do. Frost left takes out Minio, leaving Sparrow isolated now. A 1 versus 4. Good luck to him, as already AGF have pretty much 99% guaranteed that we do head into Train. Sparrow, they go for the double swing, nice and easy. Wrapping up the round number 16, it's a very dominant third map from AGF, and really, what can you even take from that? A one-sided performance, sure, very disappointing from Wisla Krakow, but unfortunately, well, fortunately, unfortunately, whichever way you look at it, they've just got to wipe this map from their memory, go into Train like it never existed, and look to fight for the series.